Hey guys, this is Nathan, and this is my final video, my post-mortem video for App Deployment 2. So, this month had a lot of high points and a lot of lower points. Overall, it was really awesome. And it was really nice to have a class where I was able to kind of just do my own thing. So, the development process. Well, I first came up with the concept for Hover Player last month in MDF3, and I worked with it a little bit in there, but I didn't get it nearly to where I wanted it. So I really wanted to go with this. And at first I kind of had this goal of having a page that you would go to, and then that would allow you to navigate to whatever things you wanted, and that it would actually load the videos in the app itself, as in have a list of videos you could choose from. About last week was when it happened, I realized that wasn't going to be possible. I had built up my app to working with almost everything, and it was just a ton of different kinds of share intents. Basically having, it'd go to YouTube through search intent, and then it would, it'd actually take you to YouTube. And so to watch the video from YouTube in the app, you'd have to share from YouTube. With the gallery, sorry, I'm going to move this a little bit. There we go. With the gallery, it was basically the same thing. You told it that you wanted this, and it gave you that. But it didn't load a list of videos on either of them. So, I moved away from that. And this week, I have it where you just have this kind of launch page that tells you how to use the app. And everything else is through intents. So, challenges that I ran into. I was working with a lot of APIs and a lot of things that not only have I not worked with before, but things that haven't really been documented. Even the parts that were documented weren't documented in the way that I needed it to be. And so there was a lot of digging around and a lot of moments where it's just hitting my head on the wall because something wasn't working. The reason why I'm turning this in today as opposed to yesterday was because I hit another one of those moments. And I'll get more on that in a minute. Accomplishments. I figured out how to make the YouTube API work very well, where I can load in any YouTube video to it. And it works with both voice controls and proximity sensor controls. That leads to the next one. I managed to get voice controls working. And I only have it set to using play now, where if you say play, it plays, and if you hears anything else, it says, "What are you doing?" But that was because having a mic that's active, listening for certain things on a device that's playing video doesn't work very well, because then it starts hearing that and you start just getting everything that your device is saying. And so I took out the pause in that, but I have it where if you pause the video, you can then say play and it will play the video. And I have that working both for YouTube and on device. I have it where you can access any, well, put in any video from your device into the app. And once again, use it with proximity sensor controls and the voice controls. I got the proximity control to work where, it's a relatively simple fix that I found in the end, but I got it to where you swipe over once, and it only registers once, instead of what it was originally doing, where it would register the moment your hand goes over, and then it would register again whenever your hand wasn't on it anymore, and so you'd get a pause play. It would jump, it would stutter, you'd have to keep your hand there to have whatever action you wanted. Now I have it where you swipe, it's good. You swipe again, it's good. It does the opposite of what it did previously, so that if it's playing, it pauses. If it's paused, it plays. And I'm very proud that I managed to get that working. I really do consider my app a success. It's late. It's about uh not quite 12 hours late, but and that's partially because I did pass out last night. But you know, it's pretty awesome that it actually works. I came up with this idea a little over a month ago, and to see it actually working is really, really awesome. I also, you know, added in some features I originally hadn't thought of. Thank you for that, Josh. Um, and I really like how they turned out. So, obviously there's a few things I probably should still do with it before putting it to the App Store. I think it's this close. So, definitely a success from that standpoint. Most valuable lessons learned. Okay, got a couple of them. So, first one is that app visions, and this really goes for any idea, should never ever be static. There's a time and a place whenever you just have to realize what you're trying to do isn't working, and whether that's due to your personal ability or due to the physical limitations of what you're working with. There comes a point where you just need to be like, okay, I need to find a different way to do this. I wasted 27 hours last week trying to get Account Manager to work how I wanted it to. 27 hours. And guess what? Account Manager is not in my app. It amounted to nothing. But because I had it stuck in my head that this is what I want, this is what I need, even though I don't know if it was due to my ability or if it was due to the limitations. I think it was kind of a combination of both. But because I was so set on that, it set me back 27 hours. And at the end of the week, it was just like, if I would have just applied for, a feature change like I did this weekend for this week, that first day, first 2 days, and swapped it to what I have now, I could have had pretty much my entire app working last week. And that's kind of one of these things where it's like, I could have spent this week polishing instead of digging to make something work. And so that's one of the lessons. Sometimes you need to find a workaround that, although might not be what you were wanting originally, still gets the job done very well. The other one, although code is based on logic and often makes sense, there's often times when it makes no sense. And the reason I say this was what set me back was that in my API, I am required to have a thing called a YouTube player. I had a YouTube player. I've had a YouTube player since I implemented YouTube, and it's worked wonderfully. This week, I think it did it last week too, it kept getting a null pointer exception. I spent hours working on this, trying to get it figured out. And technically, it's still there. You still get the thing saying it's null, but for whatever reason now, it runs. So it's basically a classic situation of my code didn't work before because of this problem that I have no idea why there's a problem for. Just wasn't running the code right, I guess. And now it runs right, but you still have this problem, in place. And I finally got that figured out last night, thanks to Shay. He stuck it out really late, like 2 or 3 hours with me, I think. And we really just dug through the code and tried to find it. And the conclusion we came to that got it working, neither of us understood why it worked. And Josh, I'm going to talk to you about that in an email. I'm hoping you might be able to shed some light. But, sometimes you really do need to just take it one by one, make some of your functions a little smaller, and call upon something else, because sometimes that seems to just fix the problem. And I'm sure there is a logical reason for it, but it's not logical to me because it's still the same code we're talking about both times. So those are my most valuable lessons, I would say. I don't think I really have anything else. Yeah, that's about all I've got for this week. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. It was definitely a rough month, but it was a good month, so I don't have any regrets on that. You know. Um, Thank you for watching my video. Josh, it was awesome having another class with you. I hope that happens again soon, because these really are the ones where I learn the most, I feel. Everybody, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you all next month. Thanks. Bye.